Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, I'm going to give you a little bit of what Heidi's live broadcast last night. You can watch the entire broadcast at my new live stream channel, the new live stream channel, which I'll put the link in the description below. She's talking about Ebola and all of the issues that pertain to it. Heidi is a registered nurse. She's an RN BSN. Let's let her explain. Here we go.
When you know and can identify with Dallas, Texas, all of a sudden it becomes a lot more real to you instead of Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, Nigeria, where they've been dealing with it. And it is really tore up their nations and their countries. Sierra Leone and Liberia especially are just poverty, abject poverty, and there's no way that they can, handle being hit by something as evil as Ebola on top of the abject poverty that they already live and deal with. They don't have enough personal protective equipment like gloves and masks and gowns. And Pastor said he was hearing today that some of the healthcare workers are getting sick because they don't have enough gloves. You can't get them there quick enough. It's spreading so rapidly, and of course, if you remember, we go all the way back to Elijah in Kings when they were in the widow's house in the famine and the drought, and her little boy became sick. And remember, the Lord brought it to our attention then that when you're going through a famine and a drought, you don't have water to wash your hands. You don't have water to take baths, and you have to have this kind of resources available to you. Well, Sierra Leone and Liberia are in a lot of those cases very crude conditions, and it's very, very sad. So take for instance the story that they're talking about that the man tells. I can't remember. It's Thomas something, isn't it?
Duncan, yes,
Thomas Duncan, who came from Liberia to visit with his family in Dallas, Texas. The story he tells is that he helped a pregnant woman pick her up by her legs with another man, and they tried to take her to the hospital, and she was turned away and later died the same day, I believe, 7 months pregnant. There's 2 more cases of Ebola death that aren't in your statistics. How many times is that happening? I know the pastor said Mike from around the world was concerned that we weren't getting the correct numbers. I know we're not getting the correct numbers. They don't test everybody. They don't count pregnant women that you turn away. That's not on anybody's record anywhere. You better believe not anywheres in Liberia did they document that a pregnant woman was so sick she was turned away. And some stranger came along and helped carry her body back and forth. And he flies home to his family, and the next thing you know, what was it? The 19th he arrived, and by the 26th, was it?
By the 24th, he went to the emergency room.
He had symptoms, went to the emergency room, and this is what Sarah Sammons and I have been trying to tell you, and a lot of the other nurses out there who know and who work in this field. We're too lackadaisical. How do you think MRSA spread like this, out of control? But that was our concern all along, because you have healthcare workers who follow the precautions and you have healthcare workers that don't. And I've done infection control teaching. We have to do it annually. I've done it on MRSA and VRE and all these other multi-drug resistant diseases forever. And let me tell you, one time, this is how irritating it can be. I did a lesson on an annual infection control lesson. Of course, you wash your hands, but you have to contain these germs, right? VRE especially lives for 30 days on a surface, okay? And a lot of times it's found in the urine. In this particular case, it was found in the urine. Sometimes it's found in the rectum. But regardless, this case was urine. So everybody knows that this person has VRE. I go in doing my rounds, and what do I find on a nightstand? A dirty Depends, full of urine, contaminated with VRE. That is what I'm talking about. Not everybody is following the precautions like they're supposed to. And of course I threw a fit, and of course I got rid of it, and I cleaned it properly. But how many people had come in and out of there? And I know she had family members. I don't know, maybe the family member took it off and put it on the nightstand. I don't know. But people had come in and out of that room. How many people didn't notice it? I don't know. How many people put their hand on a surface that had been contaminated? Who knows? You know?
So you walked in the room and it was there on the nightstand?
Wide open on the nightstand, a dirty Depends, full of urine, full of VRE.
Oh, Lord.
You also have the cases where you have confused patients who have these diseases, and maybe they're confused and they have VRE in their urine or MRSA on a wound, and next thing you know they're picking around at their bandage because they don't know to leave it alone, or they're incontinent on a you ever look at those chairs when you go into a doctor's office? You ever see stains on those chairs when you're in a doctor's office? People get sick. People actually have accidents. I mean, seriously, you know? So that is the concern here. The concern is that, number one, you have lackadaisical staff who doesn't care and don't need to be in it. But the problem is we don't have enough staff. The other thing is, people get sick. And is the proper cleaning happening each and every time that somebody gets sick? You don't have to go in a doctor's office. You can go into the grocery store. Remember me talking about the snotty-nosed kids who are snotting around on the grocery carts? Make sure you get those wipes and wipe off your grocery carts. Yeah. Mosquitoes transferring. Yeah. They transfer other things generally.
Mike around the world said they are now power washing with water the apartment where the man in Texas, Thomas Duncan, was staying and he was sick.
Well, I hope they put a little bleach in the water.
Well, they're not. They're using only water. So isn't that possibly just vaporizing it and sending it into the air? I'm asking. I don't. No bleach?
It's real simple. Just put a little bleach in it. It's real simple. I did finally find how long the Ebola virus lives on an inanimate surface, and it's approximately 6 days, especially if it's in blood or feces. And you can have a drop of blood and not see it. It could be microscopic drop of blood that you can't even see. So to Mike's concern there, that if they take power washes and vaporize these blood and body fluids, it's definitely possible. And then it becomes aerosol, which becomes droplet. So let's talk about these precautions a minute. Contact precautions just means you have to touch blood and body fluids, and that's still what they want to hold to. Yet I did see finally on the CDC website that they are recommending. Went black here. They are recommending. Honey, it's really black. It's like I'm not even getting.
Just go to the mouse office. You're also going to explain this how the gates can work later.
Okay, there we go. We're back. I know you all have been there the whole time. But anyways, they're also recommending droplet precautions now. That's just a recommendation. It's not a requirement yet. All these precautions that you see that they're undertaking, including respirators, are what they usually use for airborne diseases. Yet they get angry if you even dare mention that it could be airborne. Yet those are the precautions that you see them using. You don't see them just sticking to contact precautions, and you don't even see them just sticking to droplet precautions. What you are seeing when they've got those respirators on is what they do for airborne precautions. I'd rather them be safe than sorry, but I would just wish that they would tell us the truth. And even with those airborne precautions, you see people, doctors and nurses, are still getting ill over in Sierra Leone and that. And what are the factors in that? Maybe they don't have enough equipment, maybe they don't have the proper equipment, maybe they didn't clean it properly in between uses. You know, I mean, there's a lot of factors there that you could go down a lot of different roads. But it just really makes you wonder when you see them using the precautions that you would use with airborne precautions. But yeah, they get actually angry when you mention that. So
Another man raised from the dead, a third victim now.
So that's just a little bit of Heidi's broadcast last night. You can find it on my new live stream channel, and I'll put the link below so to take you right to this channel, and you'll go there and you can watch this broadcast. It's called Heidi Begley, Rachel's Heart, October the 2nd, 2014. All right. God bless you. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy and the powerful Word of God. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We are living in the days that Ebola might just be the first of the 7 last plagues spoken about in the Bible in Revelation chapter 15.